There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.
We'll see. I mean, this is easily the best team both of these teams have played. Oklahoma is the best test for Tennessee. Tennessee is the best test for Oklahoma so far this season. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good measuring stick to see where both of these teams are right now, because Tennessee is a great team. Brent will admit as such. And the offense, as we know with Tennessee, has been putting up some ungodly numbers. And as we switch over to the Tennessee offense, not even going to bother with the last name. He pronounced it this week for people, and I'm not even going to try. I'm just not. Matt is though.
Don't even let me try. That's one thing. But I'll tell you, this offense is explosive on all three levels. Have a great offensive line, really good running back room, and Nico throws it deep and likes to throw it deep, and he's got plenty of receivers to do it. Already through 3 games, they've generated over 900 passing yards and 1,000 yards on the ground. They have 4 different receivers who have over 100 yards and 4 running backs over 100 yards, which their top guy, Sampson, 45 carries, 357, averaging 7 yards per carry and over 10 yards a clip.
He already has 9. He already has 9 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's where we need to be.
That's
worried about. We all know
so
about
crazy.
Nico.
Yeah,
everyone knows about Nico, right?
Yeah.
But Heupel's going to spread our shit out and run the ball with Dylan Sampson, and Danny Stutzman needs to be ready to have a game.
Yeah.
Kobe McKenzie needs to be ready to have a game.
This is, and I'm glad you bring that up, Mark, because this is an opportunity for, and Matt, but you brought up the linebackers, which is kind of what sticks out to me. Is this is the opportunity for Danny Stutzman to have that Danny Stutzman marquee game that he had last year, but for whatever reason wasn't on a big enough level for people to notice. If you want to win a Butkus Award, this is the game where you come out and you have the 12 tackles like you normally do, but you have it stuffing the run. And I tell you what, with the linebacking group, the way that Danny and Kobe McKenzie and Kip Lewis and even Jared Kanak at times have been playing downhill and filling the right gaps, I like what I see out of that. And Tennessee's a great rushing team. I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying this is a really, really good linebacking group. And they are coached up and they are smart and they know their job. And I am going to be curious to see how this Tennessee offensive line can move the OU defensive line and try to get to that second level and get to these linebackers. Because if they don't get to them in time, I mean, we've seen this linebacking group, how quick they are, how quick they can get there. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. I agree with you, Mark. I think that's the matchup is the OU linebackers against the Tennessee offensive line and running backs. That is really going to make or break how this defense does. Patrick, since you join us, why don't you hop in, brother?
Yeah, what excites me the most about this matchup is what we're going to scheme up against that offensive line of Tennessee and how we're going to get to Nico in ways that the Tennessee team hasn't had happen yet to them and in ways that we haven't shown on film yet too. So I'm expecting a very exciting, a very complex scheming from our new defensive coordinator, Zach Alley.
Zach Alley calling the scheme that they've ran so far, quote unquote, vanilla up to this point. So that, to Patrick's point, got to make you feel good, Matt.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I think is actually the biggest matchup is going to be the secondary versus these top-length wide receivers who both have speed and height, power, quickness, everything that you would want out of a wide receiver core. I think the rushing defense, who has obviously shown so far this year being very prevalent in stopping the run, is okay, if we're going to be able to stop the run, can we get to the quarterback quick enough? Like we just talked about, bringing some exotic pressures and blitzes that we haven't seen before to make sure Nico does not have time to throw. And I think the secondary is going to get really challenged here. I have to actually, where I think I'm a lot more confident in the rushing D and our defensive line causing havoc and our linebackers. I'm more worried if Nico does have time, can our secondary cover a lot of explosive wide receivers because it's not just one guy like we've seen the last few weeks. I think the secondary is really going to where we're going to make or break, because you saw last week they could have gave up a couple big plays downfield. Can't have that happen against Tennessee.
Go
That's
ahead, Mark.
definitely a huge concern. When I watch Tennessee, they are extremely fast, faster than anything that we've played, more powerful than anything that we've played. And it's not going to be every couple plays Des Malone is targeted in a weird way, right? Every single play is going to be really important. Every single play is going to be something that Heupel's drawing up, and we need to cover. So
Go
I'm
ahead,
not
Mark.
sure this offense. Yeah, I maybe I'm a little more bullish on our defense than I thought I was, but Tennessee hasn't played a defense anywhere close to what Oklahoma's bringing out there. And they're gonna beat us a handful of times. You know, it's gonna happen. Points will be given up, but it's not gonna be 51, I don't think. And that's the lowest Tennessee has on the season. Heupel knows how to put up points, but I think Brent is going to have some answers we haven't seen yet to problems that Tennessee thinks they're going to pose for us. I just think we've got guys. We've got guys coming back. We've got guys who've been playing well. Billy looks fantastic. Peyton looks fantastic. Eli Bowen is playing. Jacoby Johnson's getting in there. Gentry Williams might be coming back. Woody Washington's playing all over the field. Kendall Dolby's in the game. I mean, we've got guys that can match up. I think it's going to come down to, again, just offensive line, defensive line play. I really think in the secondary, we're going to be able to play with some of these receivers. Again, you get beat, but if we can maintain strength up front, force them to only pass the football in those situations, I think that's where you want to be.
You look at the best teams in the SEC that there have been. Look at the Kirby Smarts Georgias. Look at the Nick Saban Alabamas. What was their calling card on defense? Yeah, they had guys all over the field, guys, dogs everywhere. But dude, they were disciplined. They did not make mistakes. And that's what makes me feel so good about where we're at defensively. Famous last words, I know. But our linebackers are mature. They've been here. They know what is expected of them. You get Gentry Williams back, possibly. Another guy with experience in the secondary. You get Deshaun McCullough and Kendall Dolby back, both with experience. Like you're bringing dudes back who have games under their belt, starting games under their belt. I think this is how the way that Brent is building this is the correct way to do so. And this is your first test. It really is. Are you going to win every rep? Absolutely not. No way. Not against a team of this quality. And they're aware of that. Don't think that Brent and company and Zach Alley don't think that they're going to get burned a few times. The Tennessee team in the offense is too good not to do that. But aim for perfection. And if you miss a couple times, then you're still great. You know what I mean? But I would expect, I think Pat mentioned this, to dial up the pressure. I would expect to see a lot of the cheetah in the backfield, trying to make some noise. I would not be surprised to see some exotic blitzes dialed up just to try to generate some sort of pressure. Because as we know, this Tennessee offensive line is very good. They're quality.
3, 2, 1.
There's not one guy, one person in the history of this program that's bigger than the program.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes.